Hi. Today, myself, Michael Kostrukoff, and Blake Johnson will be going over our ET490 final project, which is covering photovoltaic glass and a proposed installation and a battery bank and its effects on helping us save money on our electric bill. This is a current load profile of our campus. As you can see, the peak hours are from about 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. And it's September and February that make up our two highest months of consumption, while December is our lowest month. Also, the profile is relatively flat. Within each month, the difference is perhaps 20% between the peak and the minimum power consumption. This is what we're paying right now for usage. It's very little, negligible compared to our price for what we pay for demand. And as you can see, what we do pay for usage is highest from January to April, if you only consider the winter months, or if you go into summer, it's relatively the same. Now you can see how demand costs a lot more than usage, and this peaks from May to August. This is not so much due to an increase in demand as it is the price. So we're analyzing what would happen if we installed photovoltaic windows on our campus. Photovoltaic windows, they capture the sun like solar panels, but they still allow light through. So it's kind of like a half solar panel, half window. And these can be used to either connect directly to connect to the grid, or they can charge a battery. And in this case, we're going to be using them to charge batteries, which we will also talk about of a proposal. For this proposal, we're just going to replace glass on several existing structures. So it's not going to have much visual impact. These are 3 proposed locations. In total, it's about 360 square meters of photovoltaic glass. That's 320 on the sim center and 40 on the boathouse. We're going with 30% transparency glass. So with this setup in these 3 locations, our peak generation would be 10 kilowatts. If you look at the solar irradiation by month, you can see that it's actually the lowest in summer, and that's due to the orientation of the panels. This is not good to save money because, as you saw, our demand cost was the highest during the summer, and so different installation locations should be considered. So when these photovoltaic glass installations would be producing electricity, it would be from about 8 a.m. to about 8 or 9 p.m. And that covers pretty nicely with our peak hours, as you saw earlier. Now I'm going to hand it over to Blake Johnson to talk about how photovoltaic glass technology can work in conjunction with the battery bank and what impact that would have on the school's energy bill.
As previously mentioned, both the photovoltaic windows and the grid will charge the battery bank. To fully charge the battery bank, roughly 32% of the charge will come from the photovoltaic windows and the remaining charge from the grid as illustrated in the graph. The photovoltaic windows will charge the battery bank during daylight hours, which are typically high usage periods. The grid will only charge the battery bank during non-peak, low usage hours, primarily overnight, reducing the financial impact of the increased energy usage based on the campus's monthly load profile. The photovoltaic arrays and battery bank installation locations are near existing transformers for a simplified tie-in. The battery bank size was calculated based on the same method that would be used by PG&E to qualify for Tariff B19's Option S, which provides a customer, Cal Maritime, reduced demand rates with slightly increased usage rates. The graph shows the load profile of the battery bank. The positive values illustrate the batteries being charged by the grid. Zero values show the batteries being charged by the photovoltaic arrays, and the negative values show the batteries discharging to the grid during normal peak hours. The largest energy savings from the battery bank occurs during the peak hours as designed. While we are using PV windows to charge the battery bank during higher usage non-peak hours, the non-peak hours usage rates increase is an unfortunate necessity. Using the battery bank and the photovoltaic windows during optimal times based on the campus's load profile allows for large savings in peak demand at the cost of usage rate increases. With our planned implementation, the photovoltaic window and battery bank installation will result in a monthly energy bill reduction, accounting for the monthly levelized costs of our energy and storage technologies. Additionally, there are no longer any maximum demands occurring during peak hours. The campus can expect to save about $115,736 per year with our plan, despite the increase in usage rates from both Option S and the grid energy required to fully charge the batteries. Our photovoltaic and battery bank installation allows for simple installation and tie-in, as the planned locations have both the real estate and transformers available for non-invasive integration. Option S demand rates paired with peak demand shaving provide the greatest savings. The necessity of charging the battery banks using the grid relative to non-peak high usage hours is minimized by charging via the photovoltaic arrays, but a relatively easy expansion of photovoltaic panel arrays would further minimize the increased usage costs. Thank you for your time.